Welcome back to Rob's Restoration Garage. Before we jump into this episode, I want to give you a little backstory. So I was looking last night. I bought this car 4 years ago. It's crazy to think that I've been working on this thing that long. And part of this journey has started because I kind of in my mind, I'd always wanted to restore a car. And as I've gotten older, I began to realize you're not guaranteed tomorrow. And so if I want to do this, I got to jump into it. And so I started looking and I ended up buying this car from a guy in Tennessee. So the first question you probably ask me is, why an MG Midget? Is this the kind of, is this a car you love? And I get it, like they're not super collectible, their value isn't really high. Like with, I think pretty much all car restorations, you're gonna have more into it than the car's worth. But really there was 3 reasons why I chose this car. The first was the entry level on price was very affordable. Sure, I'd love to have a Camaro or a Mustang or some other, muscle car, but if you look out there, even in horrible shape, the price to buy them is pretty high right before you start. So this was affordable to get into. The second reason why I chose this car was because all the parts are available. They still make every body part pretty much. Before I bought this, actually, I looked at a mid-60s Alpine Sunbeam, which is very similar to this car. And it was in bad shape. But when I started looking, they don't really make the parts anymore, which means you're gonna have to find donor cars or you're gonna have to make your own parts. With this, everything I need, I can go buy it, get on something like Moss Motor or British Heritage and order the parts. So that was the second reason. The third reason I chose this car was, quite frankly, it's small and it fits in my garage. I'm short on space, and so if this were a Camaro or Mustang, as cool as that would be, it would fill the garage from the front to the back, and I would have even less space than what I have now. So as silly as that sounds, the fact that it was small was very attractive to me. Now, let me get to the point. When I started this, I had never done anything like this before. I had worked on my own cars and fixed things and switched out water pumps and that kind of thing, but I had never done any body work before. I'd never pulled a motor and transmission out of a car before. I had never even used a welder before I started on this project. So I've stepped into lots of things that I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm kind of learning as I go, and I like that part of it. But with things like that, body work and welding, it's more than just knowing something. You can watch a video or read how to do it. There's a skill in it. You have to learn it over time, and so I'm just learning. So there's been lots of places, lots of things that I've made mistakes on and I've had to go back and fix. Which is my point for this video, because this episode, I'm gonna have to fix something that I made a huge mistake on many episodes ago, and I've kind of been putting it off. But now is the time where I've got to go in and fix it. So this was because of inexperience, quite frankly, and I've learned a lot since then. So this episode, and I'll show you what that mistake is in a minute, this episode is going to be about fixing the mistake that I made a long time ago. So let's jump into it. Okay, so you don't look very hard, I'm sure. See this wavy panel. So I actually know how this happened. Okay, so you can obviously see the line. This from here down is a new quarter panel. It's not obviously new all the way up to here. The first mistake I made is when I first welded it in, I didn't leave a big enough gap in between the body and the new panel. I wasn't even thinking about that then. And so consequently, when I welded it in, and I made sure that I was really careful to not allow the panel to get hot, and it was fine. But honestly, when I would go to sand the weld or grind the weld down, I would have these little spots that would be pinholes, and I could see one right there actually. And I didn't think anything about it. But then when I was supposed to get the car sandblasted, I started looking at it again, and I literally that day, before I was supposed to take it over on a trailer, I started grinding it some more to try to get it a little bit cleaner. And I saw the little pinholes, and I started welding them heavier. And at that point, I didn't watch the heat. And so I'm welding on it and grinding on it and wasn't watching the heat. And obviously the panel ended up warping on me, which they tell you all the time. You have to be careful and not allow the panel to get too hot. And in this case, I didn't. So I gotta figure out how I'm gonna fix it. The panel is too stiff at this point. I can try to pop it out, but it's obviously oil canning, but it just goes right back. So maybe what I try to do is heat it up, and I've seen where people basically heat the panel up and then whack it and then cool it down really fast to keep it from oil canning. I just don't know if that's going to pop it back out. So I think I'm going to try to heat it up first and see if it'll pop out, because it makes it a little softer and you got molecules kind of moving around, and then just kind of let it slowly cool. I don't know, we'll see. I'm probably going to have to take all of this off in order to do it. Grind this off and get it down to bare metal. But yeah, I'm gonna try to heat it up first and see if I can just pry it and push it open. All right, I use the metal conditioning tool to take off a little bit, and maybe I gotta take all that off, but I'm gonna try to heat it up. Maybe this is the wrong thing to do. See if I can just push it out a little bit. It's not too bad. That's definitely helping. I just gotta let it cool. Okay, that did not work. Maybe I gotta heat it up, push it out, and then spray cold air on it. Somebody's going to go into the comments and tell me exactly what I'm supposed to do, but of course it'll be too late because I'll have already done it. This is part of the learning process, right? I'm going to pop it out, spray cold air on it, cool it down real fast, see what that does. So because it's oil canning more, I think I do hit the middle of it like I've seen people do, and maybe I hit it from the inside. I think I'm just gonna keep trying it. See if it just keeps pulling it out. Like putting dings in your brand new metal, right? Okay, so I've been working for a while on this. Basically, I was heating it up with a torch, and then once it got hot in a specific area, I was hitting it with a hammer from the inside, and then I would just cool it down with compressed air, and I would move over to another spot. I've just been working it back and forth. It is out now. It's not concave like it was before. It's not too bad at this point. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a dolly and a flapper, which I've got right here, and just go along and see if I can flatten out some of these now spots that I've got sticking out. I'm not too worried about them because I am going to put a skim coat body filler over, but I'm going to try to get rid of as many of those as I possibly can. So let me do that for a while, and then I'm going to work on this spot right here. All right, we'll give this one a try, see how it goes. Just going to heat it up. Actually, I can start tapping on it. This thing's about out of gas. Once it gets hot, I can start. It's kind of hard to get in there because of the little. See if I can pry it out. So we heat it up. What I did on the other one is I just kind of tried it. up here. Let's see where that is. Right there. Okay, my other strategy before was to get the hammer in there. So I wish I didn't have the door. Alright, let me try it again. I'm gonna get up here high. Not horrible. Now, see if I can get the dolly and flapper in there. I'm gonna be right here wet. Let's bring it over here. Don't want to drop that dolly inside that body cavity. Still got a little bit of a nipple right here. Tap it back in. Not bad at all. Okay, so I feel like I've got that where I want it to be. I mean, again, it's not perfect, but it's not a big concave spot on the quarter panel either, which I didn't want. I feel like at this point I can go ahead and skim coat the whole quarter and then let it dry and sand it down. I'm going to adjust this door because I didn't get it exactly where I wanted it to be so that it lines up. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and put the contour body filler on that rear quarter panel and see how it does. Well, I'm out in the garage today. As you can see, it is a beautiful day to be working in the garage. It's nice and rainy, but it makes it cool in here, which is nice. I came out this morning and sanded off what I put on yesterday, and I just put another little small skim coat over a couple of the little low spots, just to be sure. Once that cures, I'll go back and sand it back down, and I think I'll have it. It's actually pretty solid. I feel like I was able to fix kind of what I screwed up, so I'm pretty pleased with that. But that's going to be it for this video. I still have to straighten out the door and do this bottom part that's going to match up, and I've got to do the trunk lid and the top. But after that, I'll be ready to block sand it one more time using some guide coat, a little bit finer grit, and get it prepared to put a primer coat of paint on it.